Hello, student data folder pilot volunteers. Let me just start off by saying how very thankful I am for each and every one of you and that you volunteered to let us use your classes as guinea pigs to make this better for the rest of our campus. I cannot tell you how relieved I am that you were willing to do this. Through this process, please bring questions, concerns, praises, what works, what doesn't work to me. We will have a few scheduled meetings for all of us to hash some issues out and develop how we want to present this to the full faculty. I'm not asking all of you to be a part of the presentation, but your input to me is so completely valuable. I cannot wait to hear what comes of this. We are very excited about using data folders here on campus and bringing the responsibility to the students for their own achievement and having a way for them to track how they're doing every 6 weeks. I've already spoken with several of you, and some of you are going ahead and getting this started. However, the materials for the data folders will not be here for a little while. So if you're wanting to go ahead and get started, I'm happy to run these forms for you that I'm about to go over. However, the crates and the file folders and so forth, they won't be in for a little while. So if you're not ready to get going, just consider this a pause button for you and you can just wait to get started. All right, I have reformatted the sheets that were originally presented at the in-service training. They're much more simplistic for students to reflect upon their learning for each 6 weeks. So every student will get a copy of this form as well as the following form on front and back sheets. They will need to fill in what 6 weeks they're in. So for example, first 6 weeks. Then they will need to write their goal at the beginning of the 6 weeks for what they want their grade to be. So 95. At the end of the 6 weeks, you will give them back their data forms and you will let them write what they actually made. It's a suggestion that you actually have them do this reflection and analysis piece when you give them the next form for the next 6 weeks so that you're saving yourself a step. The student then will circle whether or not they reached their goal. Right, that would be a no for me on this, okay? Then they're going to check what led to their actions of this result. We're trying to inspire that metacognitive thinking for students so that they can see how their actions directly correlate with their success or not. And finally, this was Liz Cumby's suggestion, and I love it, having the students talk about whether or not they understand the SMART goal. That is a huge focus for us with our Plan, Do, Study, Act within our classrooms. So keeping that on the data sheets that the students keep for themselves, they'll just answer on a Likert scale 1 to 10 whether or not they understand your SMART goal. So this first page is pretty straightforward. The next page is where I think this is really going to change some of our practice regarding reteaching and tutorials. Students can use this page for tutorial time to write down what activity or standard they come into tutorials for, when they came in, outline their new understanding or new score on a redo type of assignment, the date that they actually mastered that standard/activity, and then you initial it when they master it. So this would mean that students come in every day into your classroom, that they grab their data folders or you have an assigned student to pass them out. Gina's going over the use of pronouns in sentences and Joe Bob just doesn't understand it at all. He can then open up his data folder, write down his misunderstanding, and schedule a tutorial time to come in to be retaught that content material. For you as a teacher, I think this is going to help you know who's coming when and for what reason. And it also provides an individualized tutorial tracking sheet for every student. This sheet has 8 slots for students to come in for tutorials. If we need to add more or modify this, I would love your feedback on that. Students can come into tutorials for failed papers or if they're confused in class. Have them fill it in at the end of class. Have a student take up the folders and put them back in the appropriate hanging folder in your crate. This is all that we're having students do for the student data folder are these two things. It allows students to track their achievement for each 6 weeks as well as their understanding on standards that you are presenting. If they don't understand, they'll need to come in for tutorials or a reteaching type of session. Then you also have record of that. What I would like from you guys is your feedback regarding how this works with your kids, what works, what doesn't. I would like suggestions for how to make this be implemented smoother. And then I also want to give you some freedom to expound upon this. This is the basic outline of what the school is going to provide for you in your data folders. If you would like to take this and do something else with it, that's just fine. I know that 6th grade science is looking at doing something that's more standards based. And Miss Kelton in 8th grade math, she is looking at doing something that is more standards based but in kid-friendly language. All that feedback is going to be incredibly valuable as we prepare to implement this campus-wide. Thank you again for your time. Thank you again for your effort. Please let me know if you're wanting to get this started early, and I will get your copies to you soon. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. You guys rock!